Hi everybody and welcome to the second part of the web scraping tutorial with Python, Beautiful Soup and the requests library, where we want to extract the data from this e-commerce website. Okay, so if you haven't watched the first video, please go ahead and do this, because now we will jump directly into the next steps. And what we are going to do now is we want to put everything together, what we have accomplished in the first video, and we want to print out afterwards our data frame in Pandas, clean the data, and finally output everything inside the Excel file. And then we want to go ahead and make use of the pagination. That means we want to scrape multiple websites. Okay, so let's jump directly into where we have actually paused after the first video. So now let's put everything together. What this means is the following. So here we have all the expressions for the results of the first product. Now we want to have the results for all 24 products. Okay, so let's do it. And I will just demonstrate it to you with just the first example. So our first data point is the name itself. My approach to this is the following. I want to create one empty list. Okay, then I want to loop through all the results and append, with every loop I want to append all the names inside this empty list. Let me just show you how this can look like. So for result, in results, and again this result is our iteration variable, and results is the list where we have stored all our product results. It's this one. Okay, here we have made use of the soup object, and we want to find the list items of each and every result. And all in all we have 24 results, which makes sense because here we have 24 products. Now it's time to loop through all 24 results and to append the name inside this new created empty list. Okay, so this is actually the logic. Let's do it. For result in results, what we need to do is we want to append, so product name dot append, and inside this bracket here what we need to do is we scroll up and we want to copy this part. Okay, that's it. Copy that, go down, and now I want to paste it here. Okay, so again we have this empty list, then we loop through all the results, and with each and every loop we want to append the name. Okay, the name inside this empty list. That's it. Let's see if this works. Okay, I will run it. Okay, we don't have an error message. Now let me print out the product name list. Product name. I will open it, and you see that something actually was messed up, because we have every time the same name. So actually this was my mistake, and let me just show you what I have messed up here. Okay guys, now I know what I have messed up here. Actually, I actually needed to take more attention to that. So first I have this iteration variable, right? And here I need to make use of it. So instead of results with the index 0, which doesn't make sense in this specific example, I need to replace it with our iteration variable, which is result. Okay, that's it. Because we want to loop through all results and not just through the first one or something. Okay, now I will run this cell again. Okay, no error message, and I will run this cell again, and now this looks better. Okay, so here we have all the different names for the products, and as you can remember we had 24 products. Now let's take a look with the length function, length product name, and here we see we have 24 results. This is actually good, this is fine. And in the next step what I want to do is, actually I want to store everything inside a try and except block. Okay, so this has actually nothing to do specifically with Beautiful Soup. This is a Python thing. So we use the try, This is the try block, and now we have the accept block. So let me just provide one simple thing, and then I will explain what this is. So product name dot append, and then n/a for not available. So what this means is the following. I will try to append all the list names, okay, inside this empty list here, right? And let's say we don't find a name for one product. I don't want to get an error message. I just want to append not available. That means theoretically, if we don't have access to a certain product name, I want to append not available. This is actually it. Okay, that's it. So this was the example for the product name. And the rest of the data points is actually, yeah, this is actually quite similar. So I will just copy this expression, paste it here, and make sure you have intended everything properly. Otherwise, nothing will work, I promise you. And here, let me just provide, so this should be the price. This should be the name. And now let's make our modifications for this price here. So first of all, I want to create an empty list for the price. So it's product underscore price. And our list should be empty. This is number one. Then number two is I will just copy the list name, because here I want to append all our results inside this list. Okay, this one and this one. And now it's time to replace everything we have inside this column here. Okay, and I would say we can actually start after this dot. So result dot is actually the same for all expressions, because this here is our, let's say, our global iteration variable. It's this one. Okay, let's do it. I will scroll up right now, and here we have our price. Okay, so I start here and all the way until the get text function. Copy that, go down, and here I can just replace this expression here with this one. That's it. So let's also make a cross check for this example. I will run the cell. Okay, no error message. And instead of product name, let's go ahead and print out the product price list. Okay, so here this was empty. And after looping through every result, we want to append all the price points inside this list here. Okay, I will run this cell. And this looks actually good. Here we have all our different price points. Let's make again use of the length function, and we should get 24 price points. And this looks great. So here, 24 price points, 24 items or results for the product name. This is good. Let me just remove these cells here. And now I will just make everything a little bit faster to save some time. And here I have copied the expression, paste it here. Now, next is the review rating. Okay, so it's review rating. And I also need to create one new list. So review underscore rating is empty right now. And I just copy this list and paste it here. Okay, so this is the list for the review rating. And now we also need to replace this expression here. Let me just remove it. Scroll up. Review rating is this one. So copy that, go down, and here I need to paste it. Dot append result dot find. Okay, this should be good. Next one, copy this expression, paste it here, and let's do our modifications. So now it's not review rating anymore, but review count. We create one new list, review underscore count. This is empty. Okay, copy this empty list, and we want to paste it here, because after each iteration we want to store all the results inside this empty list. And this one we can again remove, because we need to replace it. Review count is this one, okay? This here, copy that. Result.find, and this looks good. And let me just drink something. Okay, let's proceed. Next one is the relative URL. Okay, so first we start to loop through all relative URLs, and in the next step we will combine everything. Okay, so let's do it. So it's relative URL, and I will just copy this expression, paste it here, and now I need to make the modifications. So here we have the relative underscore URL, which is actually empty. Okay, then copy this one and replace the old list with the new one. Okay, for the relative URL. This looks good. And now let's also replace this expression here. Let's scroll up. Okay, and I will just copy that one, go back down and replace this expression with the new one. Okay, this should be fine. And finally, what we need to do is we want to have the product details. Okay, that's it. That means copy the expression, paste it here, and now you see, guys, that this is actually repeating or a repetitive task, but this is actually very important, and I don't want to make anything faster here or pause the video or something like that, because I want to share with you all the necessary information. Because if you use this template, you can actually go ahead and start your own project with the same logic which we cover in this video here. Okay, so enough of talk. Let me just go up and search the expression for the product details, which is actually this one. Copy that, go back down, and here I want to replace it. This should be actually it. Okay, so now we have our 6. Oh no, I need to, almost forgot it. So here I need to create a new list. So product underscore details. Okay, this is the empty list. Let me just copy that one, paste it here, and now we should be fine. Okay, now we have our 6 empty lists, and with each and every iteration we want to append new information inside this list here. That's it. So let's cross our fingers and let's see if everything works fine. Okay, so let's go ahead and run the cell. Okay, we don't have an error message, and this was actually quite fast, but I want just to run the cell again. Okay, again nothing happened, so no error message. So let's see, let's make just one cross check for, let's say, for the review count. Okay, so review count, one shot cross check, and this looks good. Okay, so you see here, for example, we don't have a review count, and now we don't have an error message or something. We just have the expression of n/a or not available. Okay, that's it. Same applies for this one. And this was actually the logic of the try and except block. Cool. Next, what we need to do is we need to combine the URLs. You remember that now inside this list here, we just have the relative URLs, but we actually want to have the whole link. Okay, that means we need to append the root element with this relative expression. This is right now the next point. Let's see how we can achieve that one. So let me just provide oh no, actually I've already done that. Here we have this heading, okay, combine URLs, and this is actually why I prefer to work with templates. I know directly what the next step should look like. Okay, so URL underscore, let's say combined. So the last list name was combine, and now I will use this variable here, URL combined. This is empty, and now what we need to do is the following. We need to loop through the list. So for link in relative URL, and link is the iteration variable and relative URL is actually the list where every relative URL is stored. Okay. Now what we need to do is we need actually to import the URL lib module. Okay, let's do it here. And we need to, one second, we need to import URL lib dot parse. Okay, I will run it, and this module we will use for the combination or for the concatenation of both parts. So first thing is the root URL, second thing is the relative path. Okay, let's do it. So for link in relative URL, one second, again for link in relative URL, URL combined. Okay, it's this list here, and inside this list we want to append URL lib dot parse dot URL join. Okay, this is what we need. And now we want to join the root URL and the link. Okay, so again, the root URL, we have covered this in the first video. So again, if you didn't watch the first one, please do this, because now this actually is important. So here inside this root URL, we have stored this root URL of this e-commerce website, right? And now we want to concatenate the root URL with the link, and the link is actually the iteration variable. Okay, and we want to loop through all the results of the relative URL. That's it. This is the logic behind it. Okay, let me just run it and print out the URL combined list. So URL combined, I will run this one, and voila, you see that here we have the whole link, okay, existing of the root element and the relative path. Let's just grab some random link, for example this one. Okay, I will just copy that, paste it here, and let's see. Voila, this product is opening. This works. Awesome. Okay, I will just comment this out. Okay, and now what we can do is the following. We can create the Pandas data frame and take a look at our data. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. Let's say I want to use the product underscore overview variable. Okay, product underscore overview equals to PD. PD is the convention for the pandas. Okay, pd.dataframe. And now what we need to do is the following. We need to work with the dictionary. And so again, a dictionary takes a key and a value. Okay, the key is our column name. Okay, in this case it's name because we have this product name. But inside this key element, we just want to again provide the column name. And inside the value itself, we want to provide all the entries or all the list elements here. Okay, so the logic is we have the column name, and down below the column name we have all our results which are stored in this moment inside this lists. Okay, this is the logic. Just follow me along, it will make all sense. So name was the key, then product name is the value. Next, price is the key, product price is the value. Next, what was the next one? Give me just 1 second. The next one was the rating. Okay, rating was the key. Then review rating was the value. Okay, next one, review count is the key. Our value is the review count list. Okay, so everything I put here, okay, this is our value. Everything which is here is or are this lists here, which used to be empty, and after this for loop they have right now all the necessary results. That's it. So review count. Next one, our key is the link, and now we can't make use of this relative URL because here we just have this relative URL, but we need to use the URL combined, because here inside this list we have the combined URL. Okay, so link, that means URL combined. And the last one is the product info, or let's just say details. Okay, details. And the value is product details. That's it. So let's take a look how this looks like. I will run it. Okay, no error message. Now let's print out the product overview. It's this variable here for this Pandas data frame. Okay, and voila, we see this is our result. Okay, here we have name, price, rating, review count, link, and the details. So this is it for all 24 entries. Okay, again we start with 0, and 23 means we have 24 results. That's it, and this looks actually good. And now the next step is the following. We want to store everything inside an Excel file, product overview .to _ Excel, and let's say results _ single _ page .xlsx. Okay, and let's just ignore the index, so index false. I will run the cell here. Let's do it. Okay, no error messages, this looks good. And now I need actually to open the folder where this notebook is stored. Okay, and remember, our file name is results single page. Let's take a look. Results single page, it's this one. Make a double click on that, and voila, this is our data. And now you see that we have access to all the results of the first page. And you see, for example, here this name is quite long, but never mind, it's actually not important right now for us. What I want to show you is that we have name, price, rating, review count, we have all the links and also all the details. Okay, that's it, everything separated by a comma, and I think this should look fine. So if you want to make this more pretty, go ahead and use the format table or format as table if you use Excel. But now I want to proceed with the pagination part. Okay, so that means I want to have the results of multiple pages on not just the first one. Let's see how we can achieve that, and this is where we will start. So now actually the logic will be almost the same. Okay, that means here I will start, let's say, from scratch. Okay, that means I will just copy the existing elements, because you actually need to think about this as a different part of this whole tutorial. Okay, so in the first part, or so I just can name it as a first part, because we started with just one single page. Okay, and now we need to make the pagination. That means we need to create everything from scratch, so the empty lists, expressions, and so on and so forth. But since we have already used everything inside this part where we just scraped one page, we can, most of the things we can just copy and paste. Okay, and just follow me along, it will make sense for you. So first I copy again this empty lists, scroll all the way down, paste it here. Okay, next what I need to do is the following. I want to make use of the website. Okay, and let's just see how this logic works. Now we are inside this first page, correct? Then let's say I want to go to the second page, and let's see how this URL structure will actually change. Okay, now it's loading, it's a little bit slow, I don't know why. And now you see here that this information is actually very, very useful, because now we have page number 2. Okay, so if I go to the next one, we have, okay, I clicked on this double arrow. So we have right now page number 6. Let's go to page number, let's say 9. And you will see that now we won't see the 6 anymore, but a 9. So give this a few seconds. I don't know why my internet's today a little bit slow, but never mind, it works. Okay, now we have page number 9. And the logic is actually very important, because every time we go to the next page, the only thing what changes is this last number here. That's it. Okay. Let's say just another demonstration. Let's go back to the first page, page number 1. And let's see if we get access to the first page. Let's see. And we do. Okay. This is very, very valuable right now. We will copy this link here, go back to our notebook, and now I want to store the website inside this variable here. Okay, so this is it. Now I don't want to have the results of just one page, but of 20 pages. And now I will work with the range. So for range of 1 and 21. So every time we use this convention here for range, sorry, it's my mistake, for I in range. Okay, I need to grab a coffee right now. So for I in range, 1, 21, this means we want to have access of all pages from 1 until 20, because 21 is excluded. Okay, that's it. Now let me indent it. And here what I will do now is the following. Since we have actually observed very carefully the whole URL, and we have the information that with every next page, the only element what changes is this number here. That means we can just replace this number with this iteration variable, which is I. Okay, and now we want to cast it inside a string function. Okay, again, we start with page number 1. That means we have a 1 for this I element. Okay, and this 1 will be handed over to this part. Then we have this URL plus number 1. Next, second iteration, we have number 2 for this I variable, and this number 2 will be handed over to this one, and we will have access to the second page. Same thing applies to the third one. Iteration number 3, we have I is equals to 3, and then we also can hand it over to this variable. That means we can concatenate this string element with this string element, and then we have the information or the results of the third page. And this will be actually done over and over until we reach number 20, because again 21 is excluded. This was the logic for this approach here. Okay, again, I know there is a lot of different approach out there, but I use this one, and this worked for me. Okay, this is why I want to introduce you to this concept. So again, when we have our website, we need to make a request to each and every page. Okay, that means I can just copy this part here where we have done our GET request. Go down. Now I will provide a comment request, paste it here, and here I also want to provide a comment. This is website. Now we need to make use of the soup object. Okay, soup, it's this one. Copy that, go back down, because again, you remember, for each and every page we need to make a request and to create a soup object. Soup object. That's it, paste it here. Now this looks fine. And then we also want to have all the results inside one variable. So give me just 1 second. I need to scroll all the way up, and it's that one. Copy that. Again, if you haven't watched the first video, maybe a few steps won't make sense. Please make sure you take a look at the first one, and then you will definitely understand what's going on here. So results. Okay, that's it. Now, when we have access to the website, when we have made our request, when we have created the soup object, and when we have stored the results inside this results variable, we need to loop through all the results. Actually, this is right now the same logic which we have previously. Okay, that means loop through results. That's it. And now we want to create a separate for loop. So for result in results. And this is actually what we have done in this step when we worked with one page. Okay, so now we can copy all these expressions. Copy that. Scroll all the way down. And now we need to paste it here. Okay, let's take a look at the indentation. Okay, let's indent everything, because here again we have this for loop. And that means we need to indent this part here. Okay, highlight it, shift. Okay, this should be fine. That's it. So let me run the cell and see if everything works fine. Again, now we want to make access or to scrape 20 pages. Let's run it. And now it will take a few moments, because now we don't want to have just one page, but 20 pages. And then when this is over, okay, when everything hopefully loads fine, we again need to continue with the step of combining these URLs. Okay, so I hope you'll get this logic here. Actually, we do almost the exact same things what we have done when we scrape just one page, but we just have to add a few modifications and then we are fine. So it's still loading, because every time inside this Jupyter notebook, when you see this star here, that means it's loading, and it makes sense because now we have a lot of pages. So in this example, 20. And I think I can just pause the video because I don't want to steal your time. I will pause the video and I see you in a few seconds when hopefully this is loading fine. Okay, so now we don't see the star anymore, but a whole number. That means the loading part is done. We don't have an error message. This is actually fine. And what we need to do now is, again, we want to combine the URL root with the relative URL. And this is what we have done in this step here, in this one, right? So copy that, go down, and now I will run this cell. Okay, this is good. Because again, the root URL itself, it actually remains the same. Root URL, this is the same. And the link is actually the iteration variable for the relative URL, which is this one, okay? That's it. So next, I want to create again this Pandas data frame. I will just scroll up and copy this cell. Okay, go all the way down again, paste it here. Let's run it. And now let's print out our new data frame. So product_overview. Let's just run it. And I will put my picture here, or my video, and voila, you see that now we have much more information than just 24, which was the result count of the first page. Now we have 480 rows, guys, 480, and not 24 anymore. This is fine. So here you see we have the entries for the first 5 results, and these are the last 5 results. And here we just don't see what's going on, but now when we store everything inside the Excel, we can take a closer look if you want. Okay, so this looks actually good. Now, this was the pagination part, or scraping multiple pages. In the next step, again, I want to store the results inside the Excel. So let's go ahead, product overview .to_Excel, and let's give it a name, results_multiple_pages.xlsx, and we want to ignore the index again, index false. I will run this cell. Okay, this looks good. And now let's search for our file, which is this one, results multiple pages. Double click. Okay, Excel is opening, and voila, guys, this looks fine. So here we have all the results, and wait, my video is actually here. So now we have name, price, rating, review count, link, and the details. And actually, look at this, guys. Look at this. So this is the result of scraping multiple pages and not just the first one. Okay, so let's see. And this is all our scraped data. Okay, guys. So actually, thank you very, very much for your time, for your attention, for your trust. And if you have any kind of questions, please let me know in the comment section. And I hope to see you in the next tutorial. Thank you very much. Stay safe, and I see you in the next one. Bye bye.